Stop waiting for the world to change. Start changing your mind today. Are you carrying a heavy, exhausting emotional burden that no one else seems to notice? It's time to confront a painful truth. Nearly 80% of your suffering is a masterpiece quietly woven by your own mind. It's not caused by the dramatic events of life, but by the subtle, unnoticed habits of thought we all cultivate. This profound wisdom, echoed by the Buddha who said, "Nothing can harm you as much as your own thoughts," offers not just knowledge, but a powerful promise. You can break free. Your true pain doesn't come from your circumstances, but from the endless mental loop of stories, frozen memories, and rigid expectations you carry. Understanding the silent architect of your pain. We often look outside ourselves for the source of unhappiness, in bad luck, difficult people, or unfair circumstances. But the most relentless source of suffering is often the one we create ourselves, operating silently behind the curtain of our daily awareness. The moment you shine the light of consciousness on these internal self-defeating scripts, the weight lifts. The battle you thought you were fighting against the world turns out to be a battle within your own head. Sign number 1. You are trapped in mental time travel, the past and future. One of the most insidious ways we manufacture suffering is by constantly abandoning the present moment. Your mind, a creature of habit, is always traveling. It either sinks back into the past, where regret and self-recrimination live, or hurtles forward into the future, where fear and anxiety quietly reside. This relentless mental time travel is exhausting. The more you drift, the more profoundly disconnected you feel from the life, the beauty, and the opportunity sitting directly in front of you. The Buddha taught that the present moment, the here and now, is the only place where peace and joy genuinely exist. Yet most days our minds are like restless, hyperactive children. We replay old conversations, obsessing over what we should have said differently, or we anxiously pre-plan solutions for catastrophic future problems that have a near zero chance of occurring. This overanalysis creates a physical and emotional tension, a stress response, long before any real-world event has occurred. Consider this. You are sitting quietly, safe at home, and a small, embarrassing memory from a decade ago surfaces. Suddenly your body reacts. Your heart pounds, your chest tightens, your mood plummets. Nothing external happened. Only a fleeting thought passed through, but your mind instantly turned a ghost into present-day suffering. When we learn to anchor ourselves in the breath and the sensory reality of the present, the suffering immediately softens and life instantly becomes simpler. Sign number 2. You argue with reality instead of accepting it, the cost. This subtle resistance to reality consumes more energy than accepting and dealing with the problem ever would. Another immense source of self-created pain is the refusal to accept what is. This internal battle begins with the seemingly harmless thought, "This shouldn't be happening to me." That tiny seed of resistance is fertilized by our ego and quickly sprouts into deep frustration, intense anger, disappointment, and searing emotional pain. Suffering, from a spiritual perspective, arises from the twin forces of clinging, attachment, and aversion, resistance. We hold rigid expectations for how life must be and actively push away every experience, person, or situation we deem undesirable. When reality inevitably fails to match our perfect mental blueprint, the mind convulses. We feel wronged, targeted, unlucky, or betrayed by the very laws of the universe. Imagine meticulously planning a perfect day, only for an unexpected delay, an unkind comment, or a natural event, like rain, to derail everything. Instead of adjusting, your mind instantly snaps, "Why today? Why me? This isn't fair." That inner struggle, the mental tantrum of fighting the unchangeable, creates 10 times more suffering than the inconvenience itself. Acceptance is not passive resignation. It is the active choice to soften the resistance that is actively hurting you. It means allowing reality to be exactly as it already is, which then frees up your energy to choose your wisest and most compassionate response, rather than wasting it fighting an already lost battle. Try noticing the next surge of tension and ask, what undeniable truth am I trying to argue with right now? The moment you cease fighting reality, your deepest suffering dissolves. Sign number 3. You treat every mental story as unquestionable truth. The cost? You allow fleeting, fictional thoughts to define your self-worth and dictate your entire emotional state. A third profoundly subtle way we inflict pain is by granting full, unquestioning authority to every single thought that pops into our heads. Your mind is an incessant high-volume narrator, constantly generating interpretations, leaping to assumptions, fabricating fears, and weaving imaginary scenarios. It is a brilliant, tireless storyteller, but a terrible master. The Buddha offered a liberating analogy. Thoughts are like passing clouds. They drift in, they drift out, and the sky itself your true consciousness, remains utterly untouched and defined by none of them. Yet when a critical or negative thought arises, we grab hold of it and treat it as undeniable objective truth. If a friend takes hours to reply to a message, your mind instantly whispers, "They're deliberately ignoring you, you must have offended them." If you make a small mistake at work, it screams, "You are fundamentally incompetent." None of these thoughts are verifiable facts. They are merely mental echoes or shadows, but the instant you believe them, you activate genuine worry, guilt, or fear, creating the experience of suffering as if the worst-case scenario has already happened. Picture this scenario. You walk into a room and a colleague doesn't smile or make eye contact. Instantly, your mind creates a full-blown dramatic narrative. "I must have done something wrong. They dislike me." For the rest of the day, you carry the heavy, imaginary weight of that story. You suffer not because of the colleague's neutral action, but because of the critical, negative meaning your mind spontaneously and unnecessarily layered on top of it. Sign number 4. You cling to what life is asking you to release the cost. Holding on to the past means sacrificing your current energy and future possibilities. One of the deepest, most persistent sources of suffering is our deep-seated inability to let go. We become emotional hoarders. We desperately cling to relationships that have already ended emotionally. We hold on to debilitating emotions like resentment and bitterness long after they've taught their lesson. And we grasp outdated identities, who we were or who others want us to be. Each form of attachment we maintain becomes a quiet, energy-sapping anchor on our mind and heart. As the Buddha wisely taught, you only lose what you cling to. When we hold on tightly, our intention may be to preserve our comfort or happiness, but the actual result is the destruction of our peace. We try to freeze people, situations, and circumstances that are inherently meant to move, evolve, and change. Imagine holding a specific, rigid expectation for how a loved one must understand you. You grip this expectation fiercely, hoping they will finally change or act differently. But instead of finding the comfort you seek, you only find compounding disappointment, frustration, and pain. That pain didn't originate with the other person, it came from the vice-like grip of your expectation. Letting go is not defeat. It is an intelligent, compassionate choice. It means consciously releasing what no longer supports your peace, your growth, or your true path, and choosing self-liberation over the fear of the unknown. Sign number 5. You expect life to be smooth, predictable, and easy. The cost. This unrealistic expectation guarantees collision and suffering every time reality presents a challenge. Life becomes dramatically heavier when we secretly harbor the expectation that it should always be smooth, fair, and predictable. Most of us don't articulate this belief, but deep within, there's an unspoken demand. Things should always go my way. When they don't, we generate profound frustration. When they change, fear rises. When genuine difficulty arrives, we feel personally victimized and betrayed by the universe. The most basic lesson of spiritual maturity is realizing that life by its very nature includes impermanence, change, loss, illness, aging, and relentless challenges. These are not cosmic punishments. They are fundamental realities of the human condition. Suffering starts the second we believe we are the sole, special exception to these universal truths. Think back to the last time something unexpected derailed your meticulous plans. What truly hurt wasn't just the inconvenience, it was the intense, judgmental feeling that things should have unfolded differently. When expectation and reality collide, pain is the inevitable result. When we consciously drop the belief of how life must be, we open ourselves up to the clarity and opportunity of how life is. Radical acceptance is not giving up, it is finding the ultimate freedom. It allows you to respond to life with calm clarity instead of fearful resistance, bringing immediate peace into situations where control is simply impossible. These are the 5 quiet, powerful ways we self-sabotage our peace. Time traveling, resisting reality, believing every thought, clinging, and expecting an easy path. The deepest spiritual reminder is this. Peace is not a destination you arrive at, it is a fundamental choice you make. It arises from within, and that peace begins the instant you gain clear sight of your own mind. When awareness rises, suffering must fall. The invisible chains you've been feeling are not forged by the world, but by the habits of your mind. Now that you have this wisdom, the choice is yours. Will you continue to carry a burden you created, or will you choose freedom? If these 5 insights have illuminated a path for you, if they've offered even a moment of calm relief, then let this be the day you commit to your liberation. Like this video, share it with one friend who needs this peace, and hit the subscribe button. By joining this community, you commit to receiving regular, life-changing wisdom and reflections that reinforce your ability to stay present, accept life as it is, and live free from self-inflicted pain. Start the journey of gentle living today. See you in the next video.